So what's up, everyone? It is your girl GELBEAUTY87 here, aka Grace, and today we're here to talk about Natasha Denona Xenon palette. Now I know my girl Dionluvsmakeup did her live swatches, I think it was Tuesday, and here I am Thursday, but my palette just showed up today, so this is what the packaging looks like. I'm loving this packaging, although it's kind of giving me the vibes of that Norvina 6 palette that came out a while ago from ABH, but this is what she looks like on the inside. Nice, boring, grayscale situation. I wish I could take the fun shades out of here and just pop them into this palette to give it a little bit more brightness and, you know, fun. But, you know, I know that's not what this palette is for. It's made for the smoke. So, here's what it looks like aside the itty bitty one. So, they're giving very much twinning vibes. I'm going to swatch this silver in here against this stellar shade just because she's calling my name, and the shade super ironic, is that how you say it? So I can already see one is more of a topper shade. That stellar shade is more of a topper shade, and then the super ionic, I believe is how you say it. Oh, it has purple sparkles in it. So it's kind of giving me the vibes of that Wild Jaguar shade from that Wild Jaguar palette from the Wild Session collection with Huda. So this is the shade Stellar, and this is the shade Super Iconic. I hope I'm saying that right. And this is the silver. So this is the silver from the mini. This is the topper shade, what is Interstellar or Stellar. And then this is the shade Super Ionic that I'm still trying to figure out where to go. And as you can see, this one has more purple with glittery sparkles to it. So when you shift, you can see the purple. At least I can. I don't know if you can, but I can see the purple when you shift. And this one's more of a metallic. So they're all different formulas from what I'm seeing, which is good. I think I left that palette here, the Wild Jaguar, so I could show it up against crap, I thought I left it here to show it up against the new Huda palette that's coming out, but I guess I didn't. So we have Of Course to show up against this palette as well. I changed around my Of Course, but it's giving somewhat of a similar vibe to this. I wish I had brought my That's Taupe, but that's more of, well, taupey-ish ashy tones, and this is more of a black kind of grayscale-ish. I don't really own lots of palettes like this, so I don't have too much to show, so it shouldn't take us that long. Look at God. Next I have the Mary Jane palette from Melt Cosmetics. I feel like it gives some of the vibes of this, but again, I took some shades out and moved it around, and this is still giving more of that taupey-esque vibe, so this will probably be a good one to pair it with if you need some brownish tone shades to go in the palette. There's no actual silver in here for me to compare this to, so I don't have too much to show it to. I would only have the black to show it to, and that's like a cream to powder, and there's like 3 different types of blacks in here, so I'm like, is this really necessary? I don't think so. But those are only a couple of shades, a couple of tones I really have. This gray is deeper than the one in the actual Xenon palette. As you can see, this gray is deeper than this gray, which is the deepest gray in here. I guess I could swatch the 2 lighter grays and see if they look similar. I personally feel like they don't, but it's like a to each his own type thing. Let's see. So I'm swatching the gray in the mini Xenon first, and then I'm going to swatch this gray called Blizzard in the Xenon palette as opposed to the mini, and I can already see it's a bit lighter. So this is the one from Xenon mini, and this is the Xenon. So as you can see, there's a slight difference. Like I feel like this one has a little bit more white gray to it than this one, which is, I guess, a little bit more like ashy gray for lack of better term. But I can see subtle differences. I guess I'll swatch these 2 white ones too. So I'm gonna swatch the white in the mini Xenon first, and then I'll go ahead and, well, I guess it's supposed to be like more of a creamish white shade. I don't know. I'll swatch that one first, and then I'm gonna swatch the like white in the Xenon palette. So you can see that there are subtle differences between them. They are not exactly the same. So this is the white from the mini Xenon, and this is the white from the Xenon. So I feel like they're giving like that much difference. Like I feel like the new bigger palette is a bit more white than this one, or brighter is what I meant to say. This one to me is a little bit brighter than this one. But that's just me. I'm not gonna swatch the blacks just because I'm trying to figure out which one is supposed to be like, well, I guess Splash is supposed to be the cream to powder, and then that would pretty much be the only other shade that we can use, because like I said, the gray in here isn't as deep as the other gray. But I kind of want to do something with a more purplish shade, but I feel like I need to use the silver on the lid here that I keep pronouncing wrong, which is Sopranic, I believe is how you say it. I feel like I need to use that, and of course the black on the outer V, and like maybe use the darkest gray, because I feel like the lighter gray isn't going to transition well. Maybe I'll use the shade Furry, because I feel like that's a little bit better for someone my skin tone. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But let me zoom in real quick and keep like now we did the swatches and everything. So if you're curious what's on my eyes right now, I have on 2 palettes. So I use the Barred palette from Fenty Cosmetica alongside the Beauty and the Beast palette with Sigma. So I have the navy blue from Sigma on the outer V. I mixed the orange shade from the Barred palette and one of the neutral shades from the Beauty and the Beast palette to do my transition shade. And then my crease shade is the green from the Barred palette. Then my lid shades, all the shimmers are from the Barred palette. And then I use the brown from the Sigma Beauty and the Beast underneath the lower lash line. So that's what's going on with the eyes right now, if anyone cared. I'm going to go off camera, get my life in order, and then I will come back and give y'all an eye. So I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so this is what we're working with. I actually took a white pencil and drew like the line I have on, believe it or not. So I kept it pretty simple. Y'all know it's the middle of the night. I had to keep it together. So I took the shade Rhyme and shade Stellar, and that's what's like going on in the inner corner. I took the shade Cygnus and Sposh, which is the cream and powder black, and then the shade Sturt and the shade Flurry. So that's what I got going on the eyes. I'm using my Sigma eye shadow base, since again these are like pretty neutral shadows, so I don't need it too much. So I started off with the shade Flurry because, you know, that's supposed to be my like wannabe transition thing, and I feel like it didn't really show up at all, but I do feel like it still gave the look something. It's like, you know how you need a transition shade just to kind of cover up the eyeshadow base and all that. I feel like it did a good job with that and gave like a little bit of color, but like it didn't make it like an ashy color, and it still looked nice on my skin tone. So I actually was quite surprised by the shade, and happy, honey. We look cute with them. I'm really loving the intense sparkle on my eye. If y'all can tell, I'm over here like, yeah, it's sparkling, yeah. The thing is, I wasn't going to do like the black sparkling lid. I was going to do the silver, of course, but I was like, I'm pretty sure, well, actually, I was about to say when I did the look with the original palette, I did the silver, but I'm like, no, I did an all matte look, because, you know, an all matte look works better. We're going to get into like some of the mattes in my opinion on them, like at the end obviously, but I'm just trying to do either look right now. So next we're gonna go into the shade called Sposh. That's the cream to powder charcoalish gray black type shade, which kind of disappointed me because I wanted it to be more of like a true black, not like a gray tone black. But I understand it's supposed to be like more of a gray tone palette, so I get that. But it's like, because of this tone, I feel like when we put on the next shade, you'll see what I'm saying about how it looks really similar. So I feel like it just looks a little too similar. If it had been a true black, it'd have made like the other shades stand out a little bit more. That you put on. That's my only real concern. But I'm like, if you're a different skin tone, like a lighter skin tone, then maybe you'll be able to see the differentiation going on with the shades. But I feel like because of my skin tone and the fact that the oxidize is like a lot of her shadows do, once you put them on, like it's just a kind of issue that I'm personally having. But other people of other skin tones might have said the same thing. I don't know. I haven't watched anyone's video on this besides Dion's swatch video that she did live when I was at work. So that's literally the only person's video I watched. I literally watched nobody else. I was like, oh, nope, we're not doing it. No. Yeah, you will not ruin this for me. Now, I noticed that quite a few of y'all ain't subscribed, but y'all keep searching for me. So why don't you just hit the subscribe button? Why you keep searching every day? You know the video coming every day. Just subscribe to the channel instead of searching for me every day. Because apparently there's this thing called uploads by GELBEAUTY 87, a playlist or something, and y'all be going to watch it. So just subscribe and then you ain't gotta go search. I don't understand. Now we're gonna take the shade Sniff. I think that's how you say it. Or sorry, Snort. I don't know what's going on with this color, but as you can see, it starts off like lighter as a contrast. I know I should have probably put like the lightest one in there, but I wanted y'all to see, like, you know, if you're a person who is like new to kind of like makeup and you want a smoky palette, I want you to see why you shouldn't do what I'm doing. Because normally I'd have put like the lighter shade in there, Blizzard, but I wanted you to see if you thought that this shade was going to be fine for you and it was going to be a good contrast, and when it's not, because it's going to oxidize. Normally with palettes like this, I usually use all matte looks when it comes to like more smoky looks, because a lot of the grays and like other matte shades or similar tones just like this is. So I did do this on purpose. It wasn't like I didn't know it wasn't going to oxidize. Like, I've been playing with Natasha Denona for a little while now, so I knew it was going to oxidize. I just wanted to, you know, help out someone who may not know and is new and just happened to accidentally stumble across me. So obviously when I do my look tomorrow with this palette, I'm going to use the lighter gray so that when it does oxidize, you'll still be able to tell the difference in contrast, because that's the point of putting it in the crease, in my personal opinion. I don't want to muddy it all together. I could have just used the black one and just put it in the crease as well, because it's giving a really deep grayish black look to it, to where it's just, to me, honestly looks gray with like this hint of black in it, which I have thoughts about. I have thoughts. But let's get the glitter glue on, and then we'll talk about my thoughts like more toward the end. Although I have given a couple of hints in there while I was doing the eye look, honey. Because you know I couldn't just keep it to myself. As I was going through the motions, I had to talk about it and whatnot. So I'm not liking the way the outer V turned out on this side, but I think it's because I dragged out the matte a little too far. But that's okay, because we're just gonna take it off and go to bed. And we'll perfect it tomorrow when we do the actual look for the redone thumbnail and the Instagram plug. So now I'm gonna take the shade that's the star of the show, which is the lid shade, and honey, look at how stunning and sparkly it is. I'm just over here like, yes, I'm in love, I'm in rapture. It looks like just a nice wet sparkly shade all over the lid, but I like mine to be like a little more pigmented. I don't like those like iridescent-esque ones. Iridescent ones are fine if I want to put it on top of something else to give like an extra sparkling effect, but like I prefer ones like this when I'm going for the extra sparkling effect. I wanted to already, you know, have it along with some color in it. I don't want just the iridescent situation. So this one is definitely giving me that type of vibe and what I want. So I'm just like, yes, give it to me. Yes. I'm interested in see how this compares to the ColourPop one. I know Morgan Turner's been talking about the ColourPop one a lot in all her videos when she shows it. So I never bought the ColourPop one because this wasn't like necessarily my color aesthetic and story, but it's like I knew I could switch out my colors in here with other colors. So knowing me, I'll probably switch this palette around and add some more tones that I feel like work better for my personal skin tone and my personal preferences when it comes to palettes. That's what I like about Natasha Denona's palettes. I can do that. So we're gonna go back in with my spot shade now. And go back over the outer V a little bit just to kind of clean that up. That's pretty much it. Let's go into our inner corner shade. So I'm gonna start off with the shade Rhyme. That's the one that was next to the shade I just put on the lid. So as you can see, it's a nice like kind of, I feel like it's a silver icy is white type shade. And then I'm gonna take the shade Stellar, that iridescent one. This is the type of shade I like to put on top to give me a little extra oomph and sparkle. So this is the finished look pretty much. Let me draw my little, well, I'll draw my little eyeliner after I get done telling you my thoughts on the palette. So let me back you on up and talk about it. So a little bit more, there we go. Okay, so I feel like it's okay if you like these sort of tones and you're fine with having a palette this big, but to me it's a little bit too repetitive, if you will. That's why I prefer like the 5-pan. I do like the shimmers in this one though, and I like there's a good variety of shimmers, so I feel like I'm gonna like the shimmers in here a lot. I just feel like a lot of the mattes are gonna end up oxidizing and look really similar to each other. So that's my only concern with this palette. And I don't like the fact that the black is more of a charcoalish gray black as opposed to just a traditional matte deep black. But I understand it's a grayscale palette, so it's just more of a personal preference thing. So I actually think I'm gonna turn mine into more of like the Pat McGrath Mothership 1 palette with the pop of blue, since it has a lot of these similar tones, and y'all know Mother loves the gold, so she put a gold, she put a black, and then she put a pop of blue. So I'm thinking I'm gonna try to turn this more into that. So you can comment down below and tell me if you want to see me do a palette recreation and actually show y'all the process I'm gonna go through to do that, because I definitely plan on doing that with this one, just because it's like these tones alone just aren't doing it for me. But since I know I can pop them out in the back, since her palettes have the holes to pop them out with, I'm going to do that. But I would recommend, if you're my skin tone, to just go ahead and get the 5 pan or whatever, or go ahead and get the ColourPop one if you don't care about having the Natasha Denona formula in these tones. But I like my 5 pan enough to just work with it, and I'm going to redo this one into something that I feel like I will like a little bit better, because I'm not really big on the grayscale thing. So it's not the quality, it's just more of, it's not a color story that calls to me where I'm like, oh my god, yes, I need that. Like, it's not calling to me. It's nice, but I'm not like in love, if you will. But if you need a nice smoky palette and you love you some Natasha Denona, then I'd say go for it if you want to, especially because the sale is coming up now. So now would be the time to buy it during the sale. But those are my thoughts on the palette. I just feel like the tones might be a little bit too close for your liking, or at least for my liking. And to me, it's gonna be like more of like a 2 shadow look. Like you're gonna have to put that darker shade on Outer V and just put a shimmer on the lid, and maybe use Flurry as the crease shade, like the transition shade, like I did, in order to like get a look out of it that you like. And I feel like for 69 bucks, even with the sale of it being $52, I think it is, or something like that, it's like, I'm just personally not wild and in love with it. But those are just my thoughts. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.